what may happen in the next 100 years. Within the article, Watkins made lots of predictions for the next century, and some ended up being amazingly accurate. Man will see around the world. Persons and things of all kinds will be brought within focus of cameras, connected electrically with screens at opposite ends of the circuits, thousands of miles at a span. This really could be likened to the internet and video sharing. Ready-cooked meals will be bought from an establishment similar to our bakeries today. In 1900, bakeries and butchers were some of the most common ways to get your food. There was no such thing as keeping it for a long time. Freeze-dried and packaged foods didn't exist, and neither did electric refrigerators. And one last one. Wireless telephone and telegraph circuits will span the world. A husband in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean will be able to converse with his wife sitting in her bedroom in Chicago. We will be able to telephone to China quite as readily as we can now talk from New York to Brooklyn. So surprisingly, Watkins had the same thinking as Tesla here. Unfortunately, he would die in 1903 before he saw a single one of his visions come to fruition. Unlike any of the other people in this episode, the next visionary actually inspired true inventions that affected all of our lives. American inventor and engineer Vannevar Bush designed influential analog computers during the 1920s and 30s. In 1922, he was one of the founders of the Raytheon Company. By the early 1940s, he was the most influential scientist in America, directing thousands of researchers and military generals, only answering to the president himself. He was even in charge of the atomic bomb. After the war, he wanted to turn all of the scientific efforts from destruction to peace. In this, he could foresee academic knowledge being lost as time went on. With 1940s technology, there was simply no way to collect, organize, and access it all. His solution was nothing short of prophetic. In a 1945 article entitled As We May Think, published in the Atlantic Monthly, Bush proposed a device that he called a MEMEX, MEMEX being short for memory extension. This device could store and connect information and thus work as an artificial aid to memory. He came to the conclusion that current systems of organizing information by alphabetical order would be inadequate. A new system was needed, a system that was more flexible and should also work like the human brain. It would be a loose web of information connected by links between them. Quote, wholly new forms of encyclopedias will appear,